Hello, and welcome to the Skin Pause podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Corinne Erickson, a board-certified dermatologist, Menopause Society certified practitioner, and very peri 45-year-old woman. And today we can add jet lagged to that list because I am very recently back from a trip to Seoul, South Korea, where I went to speak at a global summit by the developers of a device that we carry in my practice that I absolutely love, especially for midlife skin rejuvenation. I would call this a dermatologist's Disney World, basically, with exploring the different treatments and skincare offerings. You maybe are very familiar with some core principles of K-beauty: sheet masks, essences, ampules, snail mucin, PDRN, all of these different mechanisms of delivery and active ingredients that seem very exotic to us here in the United States. So what is K-beauty? Is all of the hype around it validated? And are there some lessons in K-beauty that we need to be adapting? So listen up and let's dive in. So at its core, K-beauty is really a philosophy more so than it is a set of skincare products. And the philosophy really focuses on prevention more than correction. This is where the Korean mentality around health and skincare and the US mentality around health and skincare really reach a fork in the road. In the US, we use and abuse our bodies, whether it's tanning or our diet or our alcohol consumption. We just beat ourselves up until we reach a point where things don't feel good anymore or they don't look the way we want them to. And then we try and fix it. That's not what's happening with the South Korean approach. They are taking care of their skin and their bodies from a very early age. And at the core of this is sun protection. They have some more interesting sunscreens. They have more filters available than we do here. But this approach of prevention over correction is one of the biggest core philosophical differences between K-beauty and skincare in the United States. In K-beauty, hydration is critical, and they have multiple steps that support hydration, from a thinner essence to a topical with hyaluronic acid of multiple molecular weights, to interesting hydrators from cactus extracts. And they're also focusing on inflammation as a preventative component rather than as something to calm down a fire. So in K-beauty, they're trying not to ignite the fire, whereas in the United States, we need a fire hydrant to try and douse our skin and put out the flames because we live in such a pro-inflammatory state. The other thing that I noticed is this consistency, that skincare is just literally part of day-to-day life, like brushing your teeth. Taking great care of your skin is part of everyday life in Korea versus here in the United States. It's not at the top of our priority list until we have a problem. Other things to keep in mind with these core philosophical differences is that a lot of the products in K-beauty may work really well for younger skin that hasn't yet endured the damage that we in the United States tend to put our skin through. But it may not work as well for midlife skin. When you add in the factors of chronic sun exposure, chronic inflammation, a very impaired skin barrier that's just been dehydrated and traumatized, and then you try and apply the K-beauty methods, it just may not be enough. So I think that's something really important to understand, that because of this difference in philosophy, the products may not resonate as well when we have skin that really needs active correction. So let's talk about what K-beauty gets right. And at the core of this is the skin barrier. And yes, the skin barrier gets a lot of press in the United States, and we love to talk about the healthy barrier, but does anybody know what that really means? Or is it just marketing buzz. Well, the skin barrier is complicated. The skin barrier, in a very fundamental sense, is literally the physical barrier between the outside world and the inside of our bodies. But within that, it is actually this very complex part of our anatomy where we have a very delicate pH level that needs to be maintained. We have microbiome, which is rich with microorganisms. And when that balance shifts from the helpful organisms to the more pathogenic ones, we get more inflammation. It has a very important lipid and cholesterol profile to help maintain our hydration content in the skin and prevent transepidermal water loss. It has an active immune system within it. It's a hormonal organ with estrogen receptors and androgen receptors, and it can even produce hormones. So the skin barrier is far more than a wall. The skin barrier is an active organ with its own population of microorganisms and very important needs in order for it to function properly. So what they really respect in South Korea is the skin barrier and nurturing it and protecting it early on. So I've already said at the core of this is sunscreen, and walking into Olive Young, which is a very ubiquitous skincare emporium in South Korea, I can tell you they make sunscreen fun. I brought some back for my kids, and my kids are excited about it. They are thin, invisible, feel good on the skin. They're in fun colors and fun packaging. It's all of the things that kids love, and that gets them engaged at an early age. The other thing that helps with the engagement is that it's accessible. It's a much more affordable price point. Even products that we carry in the United States that I saw at Olive Young in South Korea were about half the cost. So this concept of skincare and taking care of your skin, it's just part of taking care of yourself. And it's not limited to the highest socioeconomic groups. I filled up a bag of skincare products for what would have been maybe 2 or 3 medical grade products in the United States. So there's an accessibility with the economics of skincare there as well. They make it normal to take care of your skin. There's a skin scanner in Olive Young where you can see how dehydrated your skin is, pigmentation issues. You can check in with your skin. This is not something that requires a fancy spa. It's part of their culture. And with that comes an early respect for the skin barrier and a focus on protecting it, maintaining it, and hydrating it. This emphasis on smooth, spotless skin, this glass skin, is really about hydration. It's not the tan, weathered look that we have. It's hydrated and glowing. And they layer hydration. It's not just one moisturizer, it's layers of moisturizers. So K-Beauty really focuses on gentle daily care. The consistency is really what makes their products work well if you buy into the entire philosophy, which is key. There's also a lot more innovation in ingredients. And I will say that our FDA does a lot of things for us to keep us safe. And because of that, there are some barriers around what active ingredients we can bring in the United States. But K-Beauty is doing a great job with ingredient innovation. I want to mention tranexamic acid. It's a great lightener and brightener in dark spot products because melasma is a big skin concern in Asia. So tranexamic acid is an ingredient that is in over-the-counter pigmentation products. And here it's in the higher end products. Niacinamide we're seeing a lot more of, and you do see a lot of that over there. PDRN is polydeoxyribonucleic acid, and it's salmon sperm DNA and is readily available in over-the-counter skincare products and serums. It's part of regenerative skincare. In the United States, we have regenerative skincare. We have exosome products, but they have really not hit the mainstream yet. Exosomes are still quite expensive. A lot of them need to be applied post-microneedling or post-laser in order to absorb. So their ability to introduce regenerative components like PDRN into products accessible to everyone. And their science around innovation of ingredients is rooted in the same place that the US science is in wound care, because what helps with wound healing will potentially help heal and maintain a healthy skin barrier. So there's a lot to be excited about with K-Beauty, and I brought a lot of products home. What did I focus on? I focused on their essences, which are thin topicals that you can apply either first thing to the skin or layers on top of your makeup that focus on hydration and helping to maintain a healthy barrier. Some of them fermented and provide some active probiotics to the skin. I focused on some of their lightening and brightening agents that contain tranexamic acid and niacinamide to help brighten up some sun damage that I have from the past. I focused on some of their eye products. And one of the most popular eye products in South Korea, sold at Olive Young, is a product made by Eucerin, which is in the SPF 15 eye serum. It's a really nice eye serum, and most of the eye serums in the United States don't contain sunscreen, which is fascinating because that's a very vulnerable area. There's a lot of good things to say about K-Beauty, particularly the philosophy that starts early in life. So by the time they get to adulthood, they don't have this damaged barrier that they're trying to undo. But there are some things about it for midlife skin in the United States that we need to keep in mind. One of those is the damage that we have typically done to our skin. An ingredient that I see in a lot of the K-Beauty products I brought home is fragrance. While you may not be allergic to it, if you have an impaired inflamed skin barrier and you put fragrance on it, it can make your skin more inflamed. So this is something to keep in mind if you're curious about trying K-Beauty. If you tend to have rosacea, dermatitis, redness, flaking, tightness, irritation, some of the products may burn or sting. It may not be the active, it may be fragrance. Other things to know is that these products are really built around a multi-step routine. A lot of them are very thin, each have a few active ingredients, and you're supposed to layer them. So if you love the idea of a 10-step skincare routine and your skin barrier is in good shape, you could have a lot of fun with K-Beauty. But just know that you may need to use and layer multiple products for K-Beauty, and that some of them may be irritating to your skin. And the other thing that we need to keep in mind is that they are not necessarily going to have the actives that we may need, having had more sun damage and sun exposure and having more tendencies toward inflammation. We may need more than what some of those products are providing. So things like retinoids, we may need to incorporate as well. And it's not that you can't use them with K-Beauty, it's just you want to see where you can incorporate them. And antioxidants. I did see some vitamin C's over there, but it definitely was not as prevalent. So just being mindful that there may be some things missing even within those steps that our skin still needs. And then there's also the issue of hormones, because we need to also make sure that our hormones are in good shape. So once we reach midlife, just slathering skincare on top of the skin can help. It's important, but we also need to make sure that we're addressing the internal, intrinsic factors that are playing a role on our skin health. And when we hit perimenopause and menopause, this is where hormone treatments could be helpful, whether that's systemic or localized, or getting additional support to restore hydration, elasticity, collagen, and calm inflammation, because all of those things do start to decline and change. Another thing that I want to point out about K-Beauty is the glass skin illusion. So The glass skin illusion is absolutely achievable in the United States. And a lot of these glass skin effects that you see on social media are just these very thin serums that are applied to the skin for the amount of time it takes to take a great video or a great picture. They can give you glass skin, but you can also rub olive oil all over your face. And I am not recommending this, but yeah, it could make you look glassy. So don't fall for the glass skin social media buzz without taking into consideration that there's a lot of things you could put on your face to make it look glassy for the amount of time that people are taking those videos. What's really important, more so than the glass skin, is hydrated skin. And that is what I do think Korea is getting right. So, what do we do with all of that? What do we do with K-beauty as midlife Americans who are looking for something better, wanting to take care of our skin and have our skin function better? Is K-beauty the secret that we're missing? I would say that adopting some of these essences could be very helpful, especially trading out the astringents, toners, salicylic acids, and harsher glycolic acids, trading those out and bringing in these essences and moisturizing thin liquids to put on the skin to go ahead and hydrate the stratum corneum and plump up our corneocytes. That will not only make our skin look better in the immediate term, it will help our skin feel better and help our skin absorb the other products that we are applying. The essences, the rice water toners, the moisturizing milks you can find. These are wonderful components to a regimen that may not be in a traditional US skincare routine. So trading out our toners from an essence is a great idea for a lot of women to try. I think more of the barrier supporting serums, dual molecular weight or multi-molecular weight hyaluronic acids that have been tested and are non-inflammatory, will impart more full thickness hydration to the skin. And then probably the most important thing we can take from K-beauty is this emphasis and consistency with sun protection. Stop trying to get tan and stop trying to accumulate damage that we can then laser off. It would be less expensive for everyone, and if we could be more vigilant about sun protection. So that is definitely something that Korea is getting right. And I want to point out that a lot of the celebrities in Seoul who are endorsing skincare products are young men. Skincare is for everyone in South Korea. It is not just a feminine phenomenon. It is for everyone, and especially with sun protection. I had the opportunity to meet a few Korean celebrities, young men, and they had the most flawless skin. I could not see their pores. They did not have a single sunspot. And it's just valued across the board, across all genders. And then I would say, what do you need to add? We may need more actives. We may need more antioxidant protection, especially if that sun damage has set in. And especially if you are going to be exposed to the elements, then a good medical grade antioxidant, vitamin C, will be helpful. You may need retinoids. We do have an acne epidemic in the United States, and retinoids can be really helpful for treating that and addressing it. We have a lot of retinoid options. We have retinols, and they're over the counter in more affordable formulations. This is very helpful for promoting skin cell turnover and for promoting DNA repair enzymes to help correct some of the damage. So we have to deal with the reality of our skin health, and we do need some corrective solutions. And then hormones, whether it's external or internal, or you find an alternative These are things that may need to be pulled in midlife to optimize your overall health, and that includes your skin and your hair. So I can't wait to go back. I had a great time. I learned a lot walking through the aisles of Olive Young and looking at the accessibility of the products was fascinating. And seeing the sunscreen products mixed in with the cooler kids was a really great marketing strategy. We could do a better job with our marketing around sunscreen and make it more appealing to men, make it more appealing to younger people, and start shifting our goals. So K-Beauty may rub off on us, but the products are only going to work if our philosophy changes as well. And we need to shift our perspective when it comes to taking care of our skin and taking care of our bodies. This is not something we can one day fix. We need to tend to it carefully. It's far less expensive to be preventative than it is to be corrective. So we have a lot to learn. I think the excitement around K-Beauty is promising as long as it's not just something we want to do because it looks like fun. I think understanding the philosophy is huge. So I will drop in the show notes my favorite products that I found. I would love to hear your thoughts, your experiences, anything that you've tried in the K-Beauty space. What has been successful for you? What hasn't worked for you? I think this is an area where we have a lot to learn. I'm excited to incorporate some of these concepts into my clinic. Thank you so much for listening today, and I'll see you next time on the Skin Pause. If this episode resonated with you, please leave comments, ask me questions. I do read them. I view this podcast as an ongoing conversation between us, and I would love to know what topics you care about, what questions you have, so that I can address them. Also, if you'd like support through your skincare journey in this transition, go to clearaestheticsmd.com, and using the code PAUSE15, you'll receive 15% off your online skincare orders. Thank you so much for joining me, and I'll see you next time on the Skin Pause. This podcast is for educational and informational purposes only. What we discuss on the show is not a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment, and listening to this podcast does not create a doctor-patient relationship between us.